Let's do this.
If you've been kind of looking at the same four walls over the last couple of months, like I have been, as you saw earlier in the video, then you'll probably be feeling a little unmotivated. We've all been in quarantine and isolation these last couple of months, looking at the same four walls without our tribe, and potentially our eating habits have strayed, and we're not getting enough exercise and potentially not going as outdoors as we once were. There's no surprise that your mental well-being would take a dip, and therefore you would lack motivation. If this sounds like you, then you've clicked on the right video, and if it isn't, potentially quarantine or isolation has passed or eased up, or maybe it's a year in advance and things are just completely different, then that's fine. Keep watching, because I think these kind of tips I'm going to give you in this video that I've kind of looked into for myself, then I still think they're going to help you. So I've actually been lacking motivation myself, and I'm here to tell you that this is natural. We're human beings, our emotions fluctuate, and that is okay. We're not robots. We are creatures that desire to act upon emotion rather than logic, and sometimes it can be hard to stick to logic even when it makes sense. You may have scheduled in on your to-do list in the back of your mind to do some exercise today, but sometimes you just aren't feeling it. Our emotions crowd our mind, and you tell yourself that you'll do it later, but that time doesn't come. So this leads me on to my first point: mood follows action. The way to change your mental and physical state is by taking action first, not waiting for your emotional state to change first.
I'm ready.
And I know it is easier said than done. When you're working on a project and you've been procrastinating it, or you've just been feeling anxious, or maybe even have a fear of doing that task, and it can be overwhelming. But when it comes down to it, if you just act on logic, you put your emotions aside and just take the action, you'll find that, you know, it's much easier than you thought it would be. Or if it wasn't, you persevered and you got the job done, and usually your mood will improve drastically and you'll be changed about the situation. Like before jumping in here, I was hesitant, but now I'm like, I'll do it again. So it's just that resistance will just go away. You just got to take the action. It's important you hold on to the momentum that action gives you. Protect it, respect it, harness it, and never let it go. It is a powerful force, and it's why things tend to flow easier when we're in routine, and it's the reason why it feels so difficult to get back on track when we've fallen off the bandwagon. Ooh, that's alright. That's going to have to make do. So why is momentum so important? So let's say, for instance, after every task you went on social media and you went for an unconscious scroll on Instagram after every task 3 to 4 times a day, you're losing your flow of the day. And I think everyone knows this quote, but it's about run the day, not chase it. And momentum allows you to essentially run the day rather than chasing it. And if you go on your phone or you do something else that completely distracts you and takes you off task, you will just lose the flow of your day. And I'm not saying it will go to shit, but it's much harder to get back on track. Make sure you take advantage of momentum. Let it propel you forward. I just looked up the quote, by the way, and it's either you run the day or the day runs you. Momentum allows you to run the day. I'm going to get back to foam rolling because I'm in rehab. I've got an injury I'm trying to sort out, and I'm running out of angles in this bedroom as well. I think there's only so many angles I can get. I want to get out and film something. It's sunny. Oh well, back to foam rolling and back to the video for you. So after you've taken action and harnessed momentum, it's time to implement something called an implementation intention. Hundreds of studies have shown that setting implementation intentions are effective for sticking to our goals. The simple way to apply this is pretty simple. So you just say, I will do this behavior at this time in this location. So you can use a Google Calendar or maybe a to-do list, or even just write it down. There's a lot of science behind it. I pretty much learned it from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
We tell ourselves, I'm going to eat healthier, or I'm going to write more, but we never say when and where these habits are going to happen. We leave it up to chance and hope that we will just remember to do it, or feel motivated at the right time.
I recently started to implement this strategy by using Google Calendar, and I have found it effective, and it makes it much easier to follow through with the habit or task ahead. You just simply follow through with your predetermined plan. I also find it creates urgency for a task. If you give yourself 10 days to clean your bedroom, it will take 10 days. If you give yourself 3 hours, it will take 3 hours. Create urgency in your life and give your habits a time and a space to live in the world. If you've been working at home, you may find it's easier to just take the foot off the gas as you're not in the office where you might have a colleague or your boss looming over you. Luckily, you can create this social pressure by using FocusMate, an online software where you video chat with someone and you both vocally share your tasks for that session. At the end of the session, you and your partner share what you've accomplished.
Of course, I can only speak from my experience, but honestly, if you're in college or in school, university, or maybe you're an entrepreneur or a content creator and you're building a business, I truly think that FocusMate will help you out. Like, it's the best productivity app I've ever used. And no, this isn't even an ad. As you can see, this is what it looks like. They can see you can see them. And you just tell them what you're working on in that session, like what your task is and what you'd like to kind of get done. And then they tell you. And, you know, I like to wish them good luck, give them good energy, good vibes. And if the idea of talking to a stranger is a bit overwhelming for you, maybe you can make a focus pact with a friend, but you got to make sure you set some ground rules, because otherwise you'll just be 20 minutes into like the FaceTime call and just talking about some random shit. So you're telling me that you've seen 1 postman, 3 cats, 2 dogs and 4 humans? Wow, that's mental.
You'll be back to the video in a second, just some things are more important than YouTube videos. Okay, so you know what's going on in the world right now. We need change, and I want you to vote for change with your actions. I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video. Go sign petitions, as many as you can, until you cannot use your hands, okay? And donate if you can, of course, that would be great. And to my fellow black brothers and sisters, I love you. And I'm with you, and I've always been with you. So now you've heard my piece on motivation, but I wanted to get some new perspective on this matter, so I've decided to FaceTime some of my friends to get an insight to see how they are staying motivated and if they do actually stay motivated.
Hey man.
I'm a photographer, specialising in fashion.
Hey, I'm Josef Hollywood. I'm a radio presenter, journalist, executive producer. I've got my own company as well. I'm also a DJ on the side.
And he's a cool guy as well, so that helps. What are you doing to stay motivated, considering the current state of the world?
At the start, I kind of just spent the first few weeks just chilling. I started an online course in fashion marketing, which is really good. It's through a university in Paris, and I've been cycling everywhere.
When it comes to like radio and journalism, it's all about finding new stories and finding new approaches to different types of topics. So it's just about keeping on your toes and keeping like ahead of the game.
Just learning. I kind of went from like being really, really busy to like doing nothing at all, and just kind of using the time to learn new stuff and get prepared for the future and make sure I have that knowledge.
So would you say that you're motivated every day?
Yeah, I would be. I am. I think I am.
No.
Yeah, I would say I'm somewhat motivated every day. I don't think it's consistent. Definitely fluctuates.
Whatever works for you. But I personally think that like no one is motivated 24/7, because I think we all have these little blips.
Yeah, I think I aim to be motivated every day. Obviously, there's things that come along which just kind of put things in the way. And as I said, there's nothing wrong with not being motivated. Sometimes it's good just to chill and sometimes like reflect on what you've done.
Where can my tribe, here we are, where can they find you?
Instagram. I got 2 accounts, but kind of my main film account is just Harry Steele Film. I got a website which is harrysteele.co.
At Will Rufus on Instagram, and then willrufus.com.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's all Josef Hollywood. You can also on TikTok as well. I've made a few TikToks with my sister. I'm in love with it.
If you're going to take anything away from this video, let it be the fact that we're humans and nobody, and I mean nobody, is motivated 24/7. Like the fact that nobody is in a constant state of happiness or sadness. Each life situation is so temporary, and that goes for our mood as well, and it's important to embrace that fact. And personally, that's how I find so much beauty and joy in life.
So the next time you're feeling unmotivated, accept it, but don't let it dictate your actions. Show up and do. Be a doer.